If your social skills suck, here is how to fix them. And there's going to be a lot of other videos on YouTube that are going to try to teach you this, but they're going to teach you be authentic, smile more, do all this stuff. Bullshit, and it's the most horrible advice ever in the world. This is the only video that is going to help you. Watch all the way through, don't be a fucking moron, improve your life. The first way that you're going to improve your social skills is by understanding that you should be a social monster to begin with. And I don't mean someone who is fucking crazy or out of their mind. I mean, you should be able to socialize to the world, other people at an extremely high level. However, you can't do this because you yourself were not socialized to that degree. Just like everything in life, socialization is a skill. If you do not know how to do it and you work a customer retail job or somewhere where you literally have to put yourself out there day after day and you have the mindset that you want to improve, you will improve. If you don't have the mindset that you don't want to improve, you will be a moron running around in a hamster wheel and not make any progress. That is something that I went through. That is something a lot of my clients that go through. And it's all about the awareness that you want to make this progress and then actually having the actions, the knowledge behind that so you understand and you can, to somewhat of a degree, to yourself be like, oh, I'm making progress. I'm getting better. The first thing that you have to understand is that your socialization, meaning how you communicate to others, how you are presenting yourself in your message, basically. When you go to talk to others, is it an extremely scary thing for you to do? Is it? If it is, and that's what I find for a lot of people, talking to new people, talking to people who they don't know the best, one thing really seems to spike, and that is their fear of judgment. The fear of judgment is something that every human has, and it's something that you should have. It is something that happens when you're growing up and you get shamed or you get told no, when other people give you certain reactions to what you do. And so I'll give you a story. When I was in JK, no, even smaller, when I was like, I don't even know, 4 years old in like daycare, I was at a sandbox with another person next to me, and this person was my friend. And I just had a shovel of sand. I had the sand in the shovel, and we're just playing at the sandbox. And for some reason in my child brain, I just did this, and I flung the sand completely in his face. And he had glasses on, so I don't think it directly got in his eyes, and I think that was kind of my thought process was, I'll throw it in his face, but he'll be okay, he has glasses. Now, was I understanding the consequences of what would happen if I did that? No, I was just, my dumb child brain did that. But what happened in that moment was he kind of got hurt and he started crying, and the teacher came over and she said, what the fuck happened? What did you guys do? And then he said this, and then that teacher actually said, did you do this on purpose or accident? And at that time, I didn't know what those words meant. And so I said, I did it on purpose. I wanted to say accident, but I want to say I didn't mean to do that, but I said purpose, like, oh no, I meant to do that. And she, rightfully so, was like, okay, don't do that then. That's not something that we do. And what happens in that moment as a child is that socialization starts to occur. Oh, don't throw sand in people's face because the teacher get mad at you, the adults get mad at you, you hurt other people. And so this is what begins to happen. And so you have somewhat of a fear of judgment to some degree. Everybody's going to have that. Now that's an extreme example, but even more so could be maybe when you're out and about, you have maybe some thoughts about yourself, about your looks. You feel like you don't look the best. Maybe you have some thoughts about your family or where you've come from. Maybe you have some thoughts about your orientation, maybe your sexuality, so many things. And what has society taught you in those, upbringings, in those moments is the same as the sandbox. Don't do those. But these are more nuanced. These are more closer to you. And so you may say that a lot of gay people have a more high fear of judgment. Yeah, but that's because of the society they've been raised in. If you have raised a gay person in gay land, I bet you they will not have the anxiety or the fear of judgment of being gay. If you raise that same person in Egypt, or a Middle Eastern country, or 99% of the world, they will die, right? And so the fear of judgment on some people are higher. However, some people have a higher fear of judgment, not on just their sexuality on this, and that will come out when you start talking about those subjects, or those subjects are coming up in discussion. some people have such a high fear of judgment when it just comes to socializing, especially with new people, especially with people that they don't know, want to get to know, maybe even have some attraction towards. And so people who with a high fear of judgment will of course find it hard talking to new people, guys or girls they're interested into. Any person, bosses will be harder to talk to, because any type of shift in dynamic where it's, oh, this person could maybe hurt me, this person could maybe reject me, this person could maybe judge me, this fear of judgment goes even higher, to an even higher degree than with your friends or with your family or something like this. Someone like me, when I was younger, I had a very high fear of judgment around my family, around people in my school. The only people I really didn't have the highest fear of judgment were like one or two friends at school. A couple more friends. I wasn't so unpopular at school, but the fear of judgment definitely at my family, in these places where I was supposed to feel very secure, just weren't there. And so people growing up, they can have mean kids at school being mean to them, but if their family is like there for them, usually in my life I see that person be okay. And so a lot of this fear of judgment, a very high fear of judgment, comes from people having a childhood or a family in which have judged them a lot. A lot of the people I work with are engineers, doctors, software developers, smart people, and a lot of them aren't too. I work with construction workers, warehouse workers, just so many people. A lot of them are immigrants. Some of them have been white. People from Ireland, people from like all over the world, doing all different things. The one thing I notice that's very common in all of them, who have a harder time socializing, who have a higher fear of judgment, who don't know how to lead conversations, who don't know how to be in control of themselves and how to be able to just express themselves naturally and lead conversations and be okay talking, is that they have been judged heavily in their past. Not to like a certain degree, I find it all the time, but they have been judged by either their family in the past. They've either had some pretty bad events happen to them, so bad experiences. This could be bad relationships. And because of that, their natural hesitance of going into social settings with new people is there because of what has happened in the past, which was judgment or pain. Judgment usually leads to pain, but pain at the underlying cause. And sometimes people's fear of judgment, and the fear of judgment is proportional to the amount of judgment in the family, from the family, pain from the family, pain from friends, right? From friends, others, strangers. Imagine you had a disability, a visible disability. The amount of judgment you would get from just people on the street, right? People just looking at you, giving you mean looks. You going up to talk to them, every type of reaction you get is just, oh my God, right? How do you that person's fear of judgment is going to be way higher. But some people don't even have any of those, yet still have that. And that's, not a good place to be in. And I would put an underlining thing on like this. Like growing up, that's very important. Because what's very interesting is I find a lot of people who had maybe bad friends growing up, have been bullied growing up, had a lot of things, but their family was like very stressful. Family life growing up was very stressful. I've also had it though where people's families were good and it was just something kind of very deep inside of them. But most of the time it's this. So this FOJ then comes out socially. It comes out socially in you not knowing what to say, being too scared to like fully express yourself, and I have way more videos on how to do that, but that's the general gist of it. If you want to go deeper into it, it's because you have this preconceived notion in your brain. I personally would call this a mindset. You have this mindset in your brain, a preconceived notion. One sec, I'm going to grab my water if it's here. I don't know if I have my water bottle somewhere. Maybe it's this one. Right, you have your preconceived notion. Your mindset. And for me, this used to be, and for a lot of the people I work with, is it's very natural. It's very subconscious too. It's like you can think the other one. This is why people say, this is why it's such horrible advice when people just say, oh, just be yourself. It's like, motherfucker, I don't like myself, right? And that comes out when you're talking to other people. If you don't know how to talk to people and you're like, okay, be yourself and talk to people, what good is that going to do, right? So be yourself, but be yourself. And if you don't know how to talk to people, learn how to talk to people, and then you can be yourself. So the instructions are a bit, a bit longer. So the mindset should be, these people like me. These people like me. That's the positive mindset. That's the healthy mindset. The mindset that you have is, I may get hurt, or I'm gonna get hurt. Probably that one even more. I'm gonna get hurt. Gonna get hurt if I express. So there's just two different things going on here. This is the negative mindset where it's, bruh. I'm going to get absolutely destroyed if I express myself. If I go up and talk to this new person, of course they're going to hate me. Of course they're not going to like it. Of course they're going to be weirded out. Of course it's not going to be well. Of course I can't say hi because I don't know what to say afterwards. I don't know what to ask a question. So many excuses and just running through your head, right? And so you just don't ever do anything. You don't ever take action on the opportunities that you have, and you live your life not in your control. Just think about that. You live life wanting to do things that are so easy to do, but you can't because you choose not to be in control of your life. And it's not your fault. I'm literally not saying it's your fault. It's subconsciously programmed into your brain to do that, right? But if you don't make the conscious effort to change, it never will. Ever, 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 ever. I'm telling you this now. If you don't make the effort to change your actions by changing the mindsets first, nothing in your life will change. Ever, ever. The healthy mindset you should have is, these people like me when I express myself, instead of, these people are going to hurt me if I express myself. But that's so deeply ingrained into you because when you were growing up, or some experiences in your past, was when you do express yourself, it leads to pain. When you do try to open up, or you do try to talk about yourself, it leads to pain. And a lot of judgment, shaming, comparisons when you were growing up. And so when you go talk to someone, you're like, why would they want to talk to me? What do I have to offer them? Why would I want to talk to this person? Because, like, what can I bring to offer to them? Why would this person want to talk to me? And then because of that, you get so suppressed. You're like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to. I don't feel anything. Then you get this mindset. The mindset is so correlated with this because if when growing up that you wanted to be more loved by your family, but you weren't, then you go out into the world with others. Well, what are you going to feel? Not this. You're going to feel, oh, people are naturally my enemy. Oh, I have to win people over. As soon as you get that mindset, I have to win people over. This mindset kills you. It doesn't physically kill you, but it kills you socially, because this is not how any person who can socialize loosely, right? Without thinking about everything that you need to see, because that's not how you socialize. You socialize by being in the moment, talking to that other person, and you're going to be able to feel it. You ask good questions and you obviously think logically, but if you're doing all that and now you're like, yes, I'm winning this person over. Yes, I'm winning this person over. That's the wrong frame of mind. The right frame of mind is, this person already likes me. But it's so hard for you to understand that mindset and to really put it into practice and to really, manifest that completely into you, because all your experiences are saying, no, 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 no. And so your brain's not a dumb, organ. It looks at all the past experiences in your past, and it does that with the hippocampus of your brain, and it says, what have we gone through? It looks through your big book of things. What have we gone through? What have we done? What has that led to? Okay, when I went to go talk to this person when I was younger, I got a really bad reaction. Okay, now your brain says in your head, don't ever talk to anybody else. Okay, my parents always said I was really bad and lazy and no good and stupid and ugly and all this other stuff. Okay, I probably am those things. They're my parents. I should probably listen to them. Okay, when I go to talk to someone new, well, I'm all these things. I have to prove to them I'm not. I have to prove to them I'm good. I have to do that when I am. I have to prove that I am this person. Okay, when people insult me or criticize me or insult me, criticize me, I get extremely defensive. When someone makes a critique on me, I get extremely defensive because there can't be anything wrong about me. Because if there actually is something wrong with me, because every human has something wrong with them or can improve on something, and it's okay to be called out on something. It doesn't mean anything about you, but in that person's head, what's coming out is, when that person insults them, it's bringing them all the way back to childhood, to their other experiences where their parents were doing the same thing and they actually believe it's true. And so they're trying so much to cover it up or to be better or to not do it. And so when someone actually does call them out on it, they can't accept that and they start deflecting. They can deflect with insults back, with anger, with shutting down. Usually it's with insults back, getting defensive, right? And so that would be like someone saying something you did was bad, and then you being like, well, fuck you. Or someone rejecting you or not treating you like maybe the best, and then you getting very angry back. And by that I don't mean like they're physically assaulting you, but I mean like they just said one comment, right? If one comment can just trigger you so much where you get so overblown, that it's just a massive sign of, right, you just don't believe in yourself. So the way that you get to this mindset is by genuinely instilling in yourself with real experiences where you are expressing yourself and you're showing to your brain that, hey, the people around me actually enjoy it. I actually can bring up the mood all by myself, and that's like cool, and like I'm liked for that, and I can do that, and I can be that person. Because I never thought I would be that person. I always thought I'd be that person kind of like in the back who would never go forward, never put himself out there. And when you kind of have that as your identity, well, all your actions are going to be like that too. You're not going to talk to new people. You're not going to ever want to meet new people. And guy or girl, that is just going to be horrible for dating. That's going to be horrible for meeting new friends. That's going to be horrible for socializing, for expressing yourself and your emotions. And that lack of socialization leads to isolation, leads to you kind of keeping everything in, and that's not a healthy life. That's a horrible life. Your life should be filled with other beautiful people. And you should be able to have the capability of meeting new people and then being like, I like you, I don't like you, you're not my type, you're a bit rude, you're a bit this. But at least you're opening yourself up to new people because you at least have that opportunity. You're at least not fucking letting everything in your life pass by. You have some control. So as soon as you kind of like understand that, then you're able to put this into action. If you want more help with this, book a call below. Really improve your social skills. Really improve your life. Like, take control of your life. The suppression expression that you have when you were a kid and you went to express yourself, you were just being yourself, you were just doing something. Maybe you're just chilling at home and then your parent came and they started yelling at you, or they got mad at you, or you would see horrible things, or you would see bad things. Personal experience for me. There'd be multiple times where, I wouldn't be the most talkative. And my mother would get really mad at me because I wasn't being talkative. Or I wasn't, telling her about something because I was scared. I was just like kind of embarrassed how, I was kind of like scared of how she would react. And I wouldn't tell her because I just didn't want to like be judged or have her, shame me like she probably would. And instead I would keep it down. And because of that though, she got even more angry. And so she would get even more loud. She would say even, bigger insults. She would get more, physically in there. Not in that way, Jesus. But she would be, more physical. And what that basically showed to me is like, okay, I already kind of couldn't express myself because there's always this kind of not emotional connection. There was always this boundary. There was always a lot of blockage there. And it wasn't like always, but there were certain events that happened that started to cause it and drift it and make it bigger. And in those cases, when I, kind of felt that embarrassment to share something or to do something or to talk about anything, or when something of emotional conflict didn't need to bring up, I was only met with more negative energy, more yelling, more pain, more insults. It was like, I'm just going to not show anything. I don't want to be part of that. I can't. If I got a bad test on a bad grade on a test, it was like, I don't want to show you because I know I will get hurt. And then if I do show you, I get hurt. It's like, if I tell you I want to go over to a friend's house, you're going to a friend and you get mad at me for just asking. That is me wanting to express something and I'm getting hit with a lot of negative energy for what reason? If there's dishes in the sink or something needs to be cleaned, instead of just, asking calmly, I understand that it gets to a point where, it can be stressful. But is it ever to a point where it needs to be so stressful where you then start insulting that person, raising your voice to the point that you're screaming, physically assaulting that person, saying all this horrible stuff about that person? Does it need to get to that point because there's dishes in the sink? Does it ever, right? But it does, because those people yourself, your parents, hold a lot of that negative energy too. And that all gets transferred over to you. And then you learn in yourself, okay, when I express myself, it is not good. When I express myself, that is not a good thing. And so I will keep my expression unless I truly, deeply know you. And how do you get to know people without expressing yourself? You can't, right? And so you keep all that expression in here, and you're not able to let it out. And it happens so much over time that it just becomes your identity. It becomes who you are. It becomes your ego. And when people challenge this ego by making you be more social, you're like, that's not who I am. I'm not doing that, right? And so you just default into this state of quietness, of not talking to other people, because that's what you just learned over time so much, right? And even more so in moments of stress. In moments of stress. So that can be talking to new people. That can also be talking about emotions or conflicts or taking insults or critiques or anything like that. In those moments, you will begin to get, very hostile. You may shut down. Get a heavy feeling. So when someone is maybe being a bit confrontational with you, are you a person who gets like so hostile that you can't control yourself? Do you shut down? Do you get this heavy feeling in your body? If so, it's because your body is basically just remembering what happened back here when you were a kid. And it can be happening, from other people too. But when anything of this kind of stress happens upon you, there's a new person, I want to talk to that person. That's a little bit of stress. But for you, depending on how bad this was, these are going to start showing up even more. So when you walk up to meet someone new, you may believe that you have to lead with like hostility. Because you may have to lead with negative energy, because that's the only way you knew how to connect. You may shut down. So like you go up to this person, you put this person in front of you, and your brain literally just shuts down because you just don't know how to do it. And this kind of goes for both, but you get that heavy feeling inside of you. A physical feeling like, oh my God, it's in your stomach, it's all in your body. And so I was so bad at socializing because this happened to me. It wasn't like the most horrible thing in the world, but there's definitely like really bad experiences. But it was also because of the ESS, and this was a major thing. My ESS was really bad. And so I basically had, I would say, 0 humans, and I would just say humans, that I was ever able to be open with. Basically ever in my life. So that was my parents, that was my brothers, that was the people in my life. No one, even in that surrounding, could I be so open with. I really suppressed it, and it was the same thing with my brother too. A lot of us just really suppressed our emotions. And surprisingly enough, a lot of the people I talk to who need help on this have families in which there's a lot of emotional suppression, where there's a lot of stress, we'll just say that, right? But if you're able to have some type of familiarity in your family, my mom's been divorced multiple times. I've had different families a lot of the times, and none of the divorces were ever good. I don't think any type of divorce is good, but when you're just there to bear witness, of something when you're younger, and even more so, then it's just you and your mom alone. And you have to take a lot of that stress that she's feeling, and you kind of have to bear a lot of that physically and emotionally for a while. It really just kind of tramples you down, and you feel like there's just, you're just on the floor, there's just like a floorboard above you, and there's just 100 pounds of weight, and you just can't push up. And so my ESS was 0, genuinely, right? And even more so, the other people, it was so bad because, I did have kind of a loving family. It's just I couldn't relate to them. And on the most deepest level, it wasn't there, right? On the deepest level, it just wasn't there. And so there would be times where, we're at certain gatherings with a lot of people, and I just don't feel correct being in that gathering. And so I'd rather just go to a room by myself. I'd rather just chill by myself. I love being around other people, but it just felt very unnatural to me, and it felt, I just got this heavy feeling incredibly high. And I wouldn't get hostile. I was definitely more on the shutdown. So, someone would ask me to speak, 100% I'm not speaking. My voice is just I'm not speaking. I don't feel comfortable expressing myself. And this was happening in the house. And then out of the house, it was okay. At school it was a bit better, but it definitely worsened over time. But the ESS, the people that you have, did I even say what it is? Your emotional support system, basically. The people that you have in your life that you can open up, talk to, have some positive emotions. And so for me personally, like physical touch was like a weird thing to me. It was just odd. And so I had to really condition myself to be okay with physical touch. Looking people in the eyes, talking with a louder voice. All that I had to really just go out and do it over and over and over again until I got comfortable doing it. Until it actually became something where it was like, okay, I've done something so much And it feels good. I love doing it. It now becomes my new ego. It now becomes my new identity. It now is who I am. Amazing. I'm a person who can look someone in the eyes, have a good conversation, speak somewhat fluently, not get shut down talking to someone. Amazing. I've achieved basic human form of socialization. But a lot of people go through this. You may go through this. And if anything I'm saying so far relates a little bit, like we know why. And the more that we know why, the more we can tackle on how the fuck to fix it. And that's just really what I want to do. I want to fix the socialization skills people have so they can connect with other people, whether that be making friends, dating someone that you want, just being able to talk to another person. If you're able to do this, you're not able to do this, you're not able to do this. You're not going to get better. It's going to get worse. You're going to die alone. It just will happen. Like, no magic thing is going to come in your life, even if you got the most perfect opportunity, the most amazing person, maybe a woman of your dreams, man of your dreams, came into your life. Hey, how are you? You would not know what to say. You would not know how to respond. It just wouldn't be a good conversation. You wouldn't know how to be fun or add there. You would just maybe ask questions, answer the other person's questions. Like, it would be just boring. And so what the ESS does is allow a little bit of that negativity that you may hold inside, and you can give it to other people, and you can kind of disperse it. Basically, I had no one in my life to do that. The role models in my life did not display that. And so what happened to me personally is I didn't even know what healthy communication really looked like at a deep level. And I had to learn what healthy communication learned at a surface level of just talking to new people and something like that. But when it came to way deeper things, like emotional conflict, deeper relationship problems, that was still very foreign to me at the time because I just didn't understand what it was like to, in those moments of just like really expressing the most deepest of your I don't know how to say, like the most deepest of your thoughts and beliefs. And so with the surface level, it's like my belief and thought is I want to talk to you, I want to get to know you, I kind of find you attractive, I want to have fun in the conversation with you, I want to vibe with you. But when you get to know that person deeper and deeper and deeper, family member, partner, friend, deep friend, you have to start exposing those way deeper emotions. And those emotions can be like, hey, I love you, but I have this kind of deep belief about myself that I don't know if I'm, good enough for you. I have this deep belief that, some things about my life aren't the best. And it's also then saying to the other person, hey, there are some things that you do that I don't like. There are some comments and, some things that you do that make me uncomfortable. And when you communicate to me, make me feel weird. And that is a form of healthy communication in which I just didn't experience growing up. Having a conversation like that just didn't exist. If it was ever to be emotional or like, hey, you did something that I didn't like, immediately and to a high degree, it was met with this, or is met with this for a while and very loud. It was met with this, and I think this is obviously bad. But it was like this. It was so loud, it was coming out. And you try to cover your ears, but it's still going in and in and in. And all you can do is sulk inside of yourself. And now when you talk to new people, you go out and you're trying to socialize with others, you already are starting from such a negative place. If anything is going to come out, it's going to be that negative. But nothing's going to come out because you don't want to first give that negative out, or you don't even know how to express yourself, right? And so the lack of experiencing it, the lack of even seeing it, I had no idea what the concept of healthy communication was until I actually learned it, did it for myself. I went out and practiced it. Not went out and practiced it, but I practiced it with the people around me. Because that's more of a deeper thing, right? Socializing, you can meet someone new at the store, at the bar, like anywhere, at your work, right? But that deeper communication, that involves being more deeper with someone. That involves having friends, family, that you can kind of feel comfortable going more deep into. And so I practiced that with the people around me that I had. And it was very hard at first, very difficult. But I already had the experience from the surface level socialization, and so I felt way more comfortable doing this. I knew I could, I knew the steps, and so I did it. And now I teach you. And so I teach you now that when things do happen that people say to you, you hurt me like this, you hurt me like that. If you're getting defensive and you're getting reactive, or you don't respond anything but complete compassion and listening, just ask yourself, did you go through a childhood like that? If you did, I want you to then realize what is happening in those moments is that person is not insulting you. That person is explaining their feelings. But what happened in your childhood and growing up in your experiences is when people in your life explain their feelings, they were hit with more pain. And so you subconsciously are just making that reality true because that's all you know. But now I'm telling you that reality is bad and it's not good and it's not the truth. And I'm not showing you exactly how it looks. I can't do that. I don't have my mom here in front of me, or I don't have a mom and son, or a son and dad, or a daughter and dad, or a daughter and mom. I don't have any of these subjects in front of me to show you what that would look like. But it would look like that person very loving, touch, body touch, a deeper level of eye contact, which is relaxed, it's loving again, a softer tone of voice, and then saying, my bad, how can I help you? I'm sorry this is happening. I don't want to do this anymore. How can we move forward? Is there any way I can fix it? Completely shifting from here to like, oh shit, let me get onto your side completely. But that's going to feel so naturally wrong to you. It's going to feel like you're being a bitch, like you're submitting, but it's not. That's just your fucked up childhood. That is coming out now. Be aware of it, change. And it may take some time to change, it may take some getting used to, but what you need to do is just fall in those moments. Because when you're having those conversations, it's going to be with someone that you probably care about. Fall. You need to fall. Completely submit. It's not you submitting. You just think it that way because of your childhood. But you need to completely submit. Because what you're submitting to is the space and the idea of coming together. You're interpreting their feelings as insults because it's just what you felt. You just were shamed a lot. You just were compared a lot. It's just how you're naturally interpreting it. And that happens in your body too, to a biological level. So it's going to be hard to change. That feeling's happening on the surface level of socialization, and then it happens way deeper down. I find that people who struggle up here struggle way heavier down here. I can help you up here. It's way hard. I can help you out here. Once we get this is going to be easier. But this is fucked up hard to get through. It is, because it's so subconscious and it's so deep in your body that the feelings come out. They're coming out in your nervous system, in your bloodstream. There are certain hormones activating. Certain part of your brain shutting down and firing up when this is happening. And so it's not you activating, it's your body, it's your nervous system, right? And so you do not have free will all the time. You have free will when you're relaxed, at ease, but when you're stressed out, when these stressors come onto you, you do not have free will. Basically your fucking survival instincts kick on. And that's not an excuse, it's your awareness of it. And for you to understand and get better. So how do we make it easier to socialize, to express ourselves? Well, whenever you get a thought, say it. And you should naturally get thoughts instead of being so kept up in your head, in this mental bandwidth. All this mental bandwidth is taking up, it's shit like, oh my God, my fucking childhood wasn't good. Oh my God, this happened to me. This was bad. This is bad. This is bad. I fucked up here. I said the wrong thing here. I did this. I don't give a fuck. I can't give a fuck, bro. I used to give a fuck. I used to, when I was so caught up in my fear of judgment was so high. What did that person think about me? How would that person? I can't give a fuck anymore. I can't. I just can't. I don't give a fuck what that person thinks. I don't give what a fuck that other person thinks. Because 99% of people are fucking stupid. And even if it's like that, even if we say half the people in the world is stupid, okay? Not 99%. I'll give them a lot. I'll give them some credit, okay? 50% of the world is fucking stupid. 49% of those people are even dumber. There's this, like, I can't appease everybody. You can't. Your brain is going to want to because, you know, your childhood is like, don't be bad or I get hurt. Show you're perfect or I get hurt. And so I understand. So it's slowly showing your brain that you can be cringe and fucking weird and you can be expressive and do the wrong things and be okay. You think my FOJ was, my fear of judgment was like fucking nowhere when I was making these videos? I still have it to a degree. It's not like super insane. But my fear of judgment isn't super high when I make these videos. Why? Because I've already been practicing lowering my fear of judgment when I went out socializing. My fear of judgment is already pretty low. And so when I started making these videos, yes, it was it was awkward at first, but now it's easy. I understand the steps. I did the steps, and now I feel way easier. Was it awkward at first? 100%. Same thing as socializing. It's going to be awkward at first, but you put the reps in, you go to sleep, your brain internalizes it, you have the good mindsets in your head, and you begin to brainwash yourself. You brainwash yourself with those positive mindsets. People are my friend. And you go into conversations, and then you, with those mindsets, those come out in your body language. If your mindsets are, people are my enemy, that's naturally going to come up in your body language. One of the most primal things a person does, it goes back to like apes and stuff. When you're in those moments of stress and you shut down, things will happen of that. Look at this. My shoulders start coming up. I start hiding my body. It does start happening. My wanting to express, my ability to express shuts down. And it happens in the body language. Naturally, this will happen. Naturally. Because I'm protecting now my neck. I'm now protecting my vital organs here. Naturally, these body language things show to the other person that you're nervous, that you're fucking scared out of your mind. And because of the law of emotional transference, which all normal human beings have, if you're a psychotic person, maybe you don't have this, but people with empathy, they will see the emotion on another person, and they will detect that emotion through their body language, eye contact, facial expressions, and tonality, the emotion that is happening inside of them. And they will feel that too. And so if your body language and your everything that you're communicating is this nervousness, that's going to give one image. But when I do this, it's going to be weird. Okay, even though there's no words being said there, obviously there's one is more confident. Why? Okay, no, but why is this more attractive? We know why it's more confidence, because of the body language. The tonality is better, the body language is more relaxed, it's more open, eye contact is more relaxed, it's more open. When you're so tensed, you're expecting something wrong to happen, you're now giving that other person the expectation that something wrong is going to happen. And so they don't want to be in this conversation with you because they're like, oh fuck, what the hell's wrong? Why is this person like acting like this? Is something bad is happening? Am I not supposed to be talking to you? They're going to trust you. The one person another person will trust the most is yourself. And so if you display to that person in your body language that you can't that you're not comfortable talking to the other person, that person's going to trust you and be like, okay, I see you're uncomfortable. I will excuse you. You're okay, man. You know, and that's because your FOJ is so high. It's hard to be expressive. It's hard to be loose. It's hard to be relaxed. And in those moments, basically, what you just need to do is understand that this is not what I want. This is my fucking stupid child brain coming in, making me so, like, hard to talk to people. I haven't done it a lot. I feel disconnected a lot of the times. Like, that's just what's happening, right? If you lived a social life growing up where your family loved you, there was, like, no really loud noises in the house or arguing, you had a lot of friends, your friends loved you, everyone you talked to knew people, knew this, knew everybody, everyone complimented you, everyone just gave you the most positive energy ever. On the billionth, millionth, trillionth time when you're 30 years old and you want to talk to someone new, of course you're going to fucking believe to yourself, oh, this person's probably going to be nice to me too. But if you had that experience growing up and it was all negative, on that 1,000th time, of course you're going to be like, oh, this person's going to be negative to me. And so it's just a matter of what you've been through and how that is manifested into your mindsets and now how that is coming out in your body language. This person's not going to like me when I go up and talk to them. Hey, how are you? I'm already expecting bad. Hey, how are you? Right? I'm not able to be loose. I'm not able to. So it's all that. It's all that. Whew, that was a long-ass video. I know it was a lot. If you want more help with this, book a call with me below. Really change your social skills. Really change your mindsets. Take control of your life, okay? I love you guys. Peace out. Thank you for watching the video. It was a long one. Some personal stuff I did say. But I hope that's okay with you guys. Okay, peace out. Bye. Love you.